Ravens and the Bengals on CBS. Neither Joe Burrow nor Lamar Jackson have ever lost a regular season game from Week 15 on. A combined 25-0.
Wow.
Something's got to give here. Bengals looking to avoid postseason elimination. The Ravens trying to keep pace with those Steelers in the 15 are on. Burrow suffers his first career regular season loss this late in the season. Shutout for his first time in his NFL career, this being his 74th start. You find no points, and for that, you are mathematically eliminated from playoff contention.
All right, Lamar, you told us yesterday.
So you saw the stat line there. Didn't necessarily blow your hair back as a passer or runner in this game, but did all that was required and still perfect in the final quarter of the season. Perfect are my guys in studio here to break down what we saw. And again, I'm not sure the Ravens do anything to eschew all the concerns we have for that team moving forward. So maybe, JJ, a thought here on the Bengals mathematically eliminated. And this one feels like it only amplifies the comments made earlier in the week by Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so first of all, the Ravens didn't have to throw a whole bunch of points on the board and didn't have to wow you with the stat line. They only had 40 offensive plays in this game. They didn't have a single drive of 8 or more plays. So they were efficient in scoring the football. And obviously, the Cincinnati Bengals defense is something that is going to have to take a very hard look at this offseason. The front office has to do better there. Speaking of the front office, that's a place that Joe Burrow is looking. That's a place that he has spoken to a number of times in press conferences. And we heard his comments earlier this week on his 29th birthday about how he's not having any fun out there on the football field and how he only plays football to have fun. Many people thought, is he hinting at an early retirement? Remember, of course, Andrew Luck retired at the ripe age of 29. Is he talking about potentially trying to get out of Cincinnati? Remember, of course, Carson Palmer had to retire to get his freedom from Cincinnati. I'm told that Joe Burrow is just frustrated, that he has been injured and he comes back. Remember, this is supposed to be a 3.5 month injury with the turf toe. He came back in 2.5 months. And the work that he is putting in is not resulting in victories. And so that was frustration from Joe Burrow. But that is going to continue to take place. We're going to continue hearing that. And we're going to have a whole offseason about what's going to be next for Joe Burrow. But now that they're eliminated from playoff contention, we know that this comeback that he had, incredible comeback, all for naught.
Emery, do you choose to highlight the Burrow side of things here, or a Lamar team still alive after this performance?
I'll give you one for each. When you look at the Bengals, the body language was just terrible. And you saw that manifest itself in the drops and then turnovers and all of those things. But when you see that combined with the Ravens on the other side, I was encouraged by their defensive effort, encouraged that they were able to find ways to make plays on the ball. The defense looked like they looked in their heyday when they were making those plays, both getting after the quarterback and on the back end, the coverage was outstanding. Now, some of those drops attributed to that, but also when you look at Lamar Jackson, I thought he did a fantastic job just locking in, throwing the football all over the yard. Had some big-time drops from his receivers, but they made that atonement to make those plays for him at the end. So I thought it was a great game for Baltimore, but I just hate the body language that I saw from Cincinnati.
Well, you might as well get used to seeing bad body language from Cincinnati because it's not going anywhere. When you hear what you heard from your quarterback and Joe Burrow leading up to this ball game, I highly doubt he is the only one that's frustrated in that locker room. But he was the one that was willing to voice his frustration out to all of us, and we're not surprised. So for Cincinnati, mathematically speaking, JJ, to your point, they're eliminated from the playoffs. But even if they won this ball game, we felt like they had no shot to get into the tournament. And when you talk about Baltimore, they were in the midst of a 2-game losing streak. Remember, they lost a few weeks ago to Cincinnati and then last week to Pittsburgh. So this was a much-needed win for them because they're still in the midst of competing for that #1 spot in the AFC North. And if you look at what they have next week, coming another playoff caliber team, the Patriots, who just took one on the chin to Buffalo. Baltimore had no room for error. They did what they were supposed to do, beating the team they're supposed to beat.
It is Sharpie season in the NFL. We scratched one off. Cincinnati, again, mathematically eliminated here following their shutout loss, the first of Joe Burrow's career. Here, a look at Week 15 or later. A 1-game sample size on the right side of your screen, but just not up to the standard throughout the entirety of this injury-plagued season.
In Super Bowl 56, the two quarterbacks also separated by just one touchdown pass since the trade, and it is safe to assume neither has forgotten this transaction.
Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions agreed mutually to part ways this offseason.
The big news in the NFL. Matthew Stafford is a Ram. Jared Goff is a Lion.
I was at home and Sean called me and let me know, and it's part of the business. That can happen at any time.
The success that Jared's had here
You know, I'm not blind to that. I understand that. It's impressive stuff, and I know I have big shoes to fill.
Let's go, man. This is to win the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Steps back, throws the fade, back shoulder. Cooper Kupp's got it. Rings for the Rams. A Lombardi trophy for Los Angeles.
There was some disrespect felt towards the end. There was some, you know, sourness there towards the end, and you still feel that. You still have that chip on your shoulder.
Goff wants to throw, does left side, caught, touchdown Detroit Lions! Oh, baby, guess who? What a delivery by Jared Goff!
Jared Goff! Jared Goff! I just say it like this, right? Hey, you're good enough for Detroit, Jared.
So many storylines as we take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Rams could clinch a spot in the playoffs if they win. Detroit currently on the outside looking in. But as we showed you earlier, with a win today, their chances of making the playoffs go to 73%. With a loss, they fall to 44%. So a critical matchup in so many ways. And Lindsay Theory is there for our coverage in Los Angeles. Lindsay, how are Goff and the Lions approaching this game?
Jared Goff says there is definitely urgency as they sit just outside the playoff picture, but he also says this feeling the underdog, he likes it, it's fun, and he says he thinks the Lions thrive off of it. I am told Dan Campbell gave a very powerful message to his team going into this one today. DJ Reed telling me it was all about grit. Campbell emphasizing that at this point in the season, everyone is feeling it physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and that the Lions need to lock in even more because these are the times that they will remember. As for on the field, the Lions will have their hands full today with this Rams offense. Rex was talking about it earlier, and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Campbell saying that with Nacua, he is bigger and stronger than what people realize when you go stand next to him, and that he is faster too. He's good in pass protection, and he is strong at the point of the catch. As for Devontae Adams, that 12th year pro, Campbell says, is kind of sleuthy, and that they really need to watch out for his double moves. They cannot bite on them. And Greeny, a big factor for the Lions today. They are going to be without 3 of their starting safeties. Brian Branch has gone to IR, Kirby Joseph is out, and Thomas Harper also has been ruled out of this one today.
Lindsay, thank you. So, again, some of these injuries are so critical against that high-flying offense. Rex, both you and Aaron Dolan picked the Lions as your dog of the week this week. How do they do it? How do they have a chance of slowing down that offense with all their defensive injuries?
That's a great question, Greeny, but I just think it has to be their own offense, and they've got to find a way. And look, this Shula kid has done an amazing job with this defense, right? And it's not that they're super talented in the back end. No, but that front overcompensates. It constant pressure on the quarterback. That's what I worry about with Jared Goff. We've seen him struggle this year when people are able to get to the passer, especially just rushing 4. They're going to play a ton of soft zone back there, but they mix them. They're going to make Goff have to figure out what zone coverage it really is that they're seeing because they're so multiple in the back end. But in my opinion, Detroit can move the ball on anybody in this league if given any kind of protection. The other thing is they can't go away from who they are. Run the dang football down their throat. I think they'll have a chance here and get it down into the late fourth quarter. But I will say on the other side, I've got to say this.
Yeah.
When I watch Stafford, I've never seen him play better. And he's he's played for 100 years. I've never seen him play better. And those 2 receivers are crazy. Puka Nacua, if you're going to label him something, you'd have to say possession receiver. He's obviously much more than that. But they throw him 10 balls a game, and he only averages 8 catches per game. Like, it's amazing. And he'll get him down there, right? Nakua's amazing because he goes up. He's so strong at the point. He contested balls, it doesn't matter because he's got that big body, and he goes and gets it. He's got that lion.
Yeah, you keep wondering how. How has he continued to do this?
But it doesn't matter. He's got great hands, great concentration, all that. And then Devontae. Are you kidding me? The best red zone receiver in the league here. He has 12 touchdown catches this year. Right. So to me, Puka gets gets you to the water, and Devontae drinks it.
Yeah. So, Randy, you were, as a wide receiver, you were a one-name guy. You said Randy, everyone knew who it was. There are 4 one-name receivers in this game, right? Jameson and Amon-Ra, Devontae and Puka. How about those matchups? It's the second highest total we've seen in the NFL this year. So Las Vegas is expecting a very high-scoring game.
I said earlier, one thing about it last week, Dan Campbell was just talking about the fate of his team. And, Amon-Ra showing up where nobody thought Amon-Ra was going to show up with that ankle injury. But he came back, he showed his grit, and he showed his toughness. So I think them going on the road, that's what type of toughness and grit that Dan Campbell is going to have to show up against this L.A. Rams team. But if there's any player that we're leaving out, we're talking about the wide receivers, we're talking about the quarterbacks. Man, nobody said anything about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
You talking about a home run hitter, fellas, that any given play, I don't care if it's a run, I don't care if it's a screen. The one thing that has been showing up lately for Jared Goff is Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield, Rex Ryan. Ooh. If it's a check down, but one thing about it, you do not start to stop this guy, Jared Goff and Dan Campbell. Keep your running back going, definitely in the passing game, and you can put some stress on those linebackers for the Rams.
Lindsey's talking about grit, and you guys are talking about grit, and you talk about wide receivers and running backs. It's linebackers. It's linebackers where the grit is, and 2 of my favorite are playing in this game. So let me take this receiver and running back thing over, and let me show you a couple of linebackers, because these guys are so ball disruptive. They're ball hawks. Campbell leads the team in tackles, but what I like is the constant effort to continually punch the football out, forcing the fumble right here against the Cowboys, but it's the effort that I notice all the time on film. Can he knock guys out? Absolutely, but he goes for the ball. And Landman, Nate Landman also leads the Rams on the other side in tackles, but if somebody has the tackle, he's not trying to get stats, he's trying to get ball possessions. Ball hawks at the linebacker position. Fellas, that's where the grit is. That's where the toughness is. And whoever plays the best at the linebacker position, that's where it's going to happen today.
We all
what do
know,
you got now,
we all
quarterback?
know QBs are the grittiest position in the NFL, okay? And on that note, it's going to be critical to keep both of them clean today. And let's not have a lot of contact on them, because when they are clean, they're 2 of the best in the NFL. And you heard Lindsey Theory talk about the Lions missing some safeties. I actually think it kind of plays into their game plan this week. I expect them to be in a boatload of man, right? Let's not put a lot on these backup safeties and playing different coverages. Let's play man. Let's challenge these receivers. Puka Nacua is not a speed demon. He's a monster, but he's not a speed demon, right? Devontae getting a little older. And let's put some pressure on Matthew Stafford, right? I think their best chance to disrupt this offense is literally that, right? Let's go after them. Let's sit. They're going to make some plays on us, but we're going to make some plays on them. Let's match their aggressiveness and see if we can get after him.
That's such a great point, because, look, the Lions don't get to the passer, all right, with 4-man rush. They have to send the blitz today. Yeah. And obviously you can get burned with it, but you know what? Go down fighting. Yeah. Like, if you're going to go, like, you have nothing to lose defensively. Nobody's expecting you to stop this team. The hell with that. Rally up, man them up, and
maybe
let's get after
turnover.
them.
Yeah,
and so to me, go hit the quarterback. You got no chance if you're going to play zone against Stafford. Yeah. So to me, go get them.
We'll make picks on this game as we continue in a little while. As we said, Lions need it. If they don't win this game, they probably will have to win out to get in. The Rams, of course, are fighting for the 1 seed in the NFC. Now it is time for our Sunday playbook, which is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. The way this works, for those of you who are new to our show,